to some other ways to make some cash today. Intel, we highlighted it as a dividend play earlier. Does it make a good trade?
Intel is trying to hold up. Intel is still above all the moving averages. It's been very, very impressive. It keeps coming out with news, so I think the forces at will are trying to keep Intel in the game. I think if you long it, just hold it. I don't think you add to the position here.
And what about NVIDIA, trying to stem its losses from its last quarterly result, really trying to climb back here? Do you want to try help it climb?
Well, last time I looked, I thought it looked gross. Let me take a look right here to see if it's any better. It did hold longer-term support, so I guess, it reversed here. If you want to be involved and you're a NVIDIA fan, you could still buy some. I think it's just kind of a wall of resistance around 19. I don't think it's a very compelling trade, but for you bottom feeders out there, you rarely get rewarded. This is a bottom feeder type of trade.
All right, Verizon lagging AT&T, so where is a good buy level?
Well, you talked about dividends, right?
Yep.
Verizon has a big dividend.
5.2%.
And it also came into support. So maybe if you buy Verizon on support and you get a dividend, you get a little bit of bang for the buck. So
there you go.
There you go. So Verizon right here holding support. This is a decent entry for Verizon. I like Verizon right here, actually.
All right, let's go to Apple because I have to say that Dell's good quarter and HP's miss always seems to point to Apple and them taking market share. Tell me how you're trading this guy.
I have a love-hate relationship with Apple, and Apple also gave you a red dog reversal yesterday as it traded through the lows of like 332, came back above. That's when I got long. I don't think it's going to be a huge trade, but I think Apple could trade back to 340, 341, which was the prior support, and that usually turns into resistance. That's your room.
And Chevron seems to be in still free fall mode here, but does have that nice 3% dividend. Is it time to buy this one?
It's been battered and bruised, I think, just for a scalp long, maybe. And if you're a long-term fan, it could be a decent entry, but you have to have a long-term time horizon there.
Two more quick stocks here. We got to go to Take-Two. Hit a new 52-week high yesterday. That was the day, right? But
yes.
Is there a trade today?
It's tough after yesterday. A lot of guys were all over it yesterday. It was that breakout trade, the day to love in my business. I want to show you the chart here because it doesn't happen often, so you need to know when it does. Look at the size of this range. Tight, tight, tight. We talk about loving tight patterns. Well, yesterday it expanded. This was your entry, and it should continue. So I don't think you chase it today, but this is the type of pattern you need to get to know and love in this market type environment.
And last one here, Google also rallied Tuesday. As a long-term investment, it just hasn't really returned that much. But as a cash flow right now, is there a trade?
Google was up like 12 points yesterday, and I asked like 3 times, I'm like, what was the news on Google? Because Google hasn't really acted so well. I've tried to be long it. It's only been good for cash flow. As a macro trade, it's been doing nothing. Make sure it holds at least 50% according to those retracement rules. So if it doesn't give back more than 50% of yesterday, maybe it amounts to something. I have to look at this chart here because it's just ugly. Look at it. It basically, oops, sorry. It came off this lower level. Good day. It's going to have a boatload of resistance up here at 544. So just treat this as a trade for now, and one day it'll set up better for the longer term.
Unless it's too big to grow. But anyway, all right.
Yes.